so much light. Daylight. All the time. And on sunny days, it almost felt like you were sitting outside. It was that bright.
And that surprised you, Grace?
It was a factory. I thought it would be dark and dirty.
Then why go to work there?
I was 15. It was time I paid my own way.
Pay your own way? What about school?
I didn't miss it so much. The girls were so nice and work wasn't hard. It wasn't like factory work, really. It was more like art, painting those dials. We were artists.
I'm not really the one you should be talking to. Von Sasaki, he's the one you should talk to.
Now, Arthur, you know he won't talk to us.
It was his process.
Tell me about that process, Arthur. You used a powder?
We used a powder. The girls mixed it with an adhesive to make the paint. And that business with the brushes. I didn't invent that. They were doing that when I started there.
But you knew about it.
We all knew about it. We just didn't realize what it meant.
Irene? In here. Irene?
Shut the door.
What are you doing?
Molly's working inspection today.
Is that bad?
Not for us. She's going to be sitting in this room all day, by herself, in the dark, checking dials.
Poor thing.
Poor thing.
So we're going to give her a little surprise.
Boo! Like the Cheshire Cat.
Won't that make her mad?
Let her get mad.
That's half the fun.
I don't want to get her mad.
Grace, do you have to be that way about everything?
What way?
Your teeth, Grace. Put some on your teeth.
Ain't like Amalia don't deserve it. She paints more dads than any girl on the floor and can't be bothered to talk to nobody either. You say, Amalia, what's new? She just looks at you funny.
I don't think she can speak that much English.
Well, it wouldn't kill her to smile, would it?
She's coming.
Get the light.
Boo!
Oops.
Mrs. McNeil!
Painting your faces? Have you gone off your minds?
It was just a joke.
Just a joke? A joke like that can lose a girl her job.
Now, Miss McNeil, I'm sure that's not necessary.
I don't tolerate no foolishness, Doctor.
Nah, foolishness we don't want, do we? Mr. Reader, this is the inspection. All the dials can be there.
Painted. And here are some of the girls who should on the floor be working. Mr. Reader, this is the girls.
And I was just telling Mr. Reader what a fine bunch of girls we have here. I'm sure now he must think I'm halfway out of my mind.
Mr. Reader, perhaps you have some words for the girls? Miss McNeil? Other one. Scared.
Well, girls, this paint you've been playing with is very expensive. You realize it's several hundred that's a lot of work. Hard work for the men who need concentrate. What? Maybe you put that. You understand why they work so hard? What we all are working for.
The war?
That's right. The war. The dials you paint save lives, girls. Our boys in the field depend on them to read them in the dark, no mistaking what they see. Otherwise, some of those boys won't be coming home. So, girls, if you keep playing around and don't take work seriously, well, then you're playing into the hands of the Kaiser. And we don't want that, do we?
No, sir.
So, let's get back to work and leave the tomfoolery to home.
Mr. Reader, I just wanted to say, I'm so sorry. I won't ever do nothing like this ever again.
Well, dear, just keep this in mind. If you do right by us, we'll do right by you.
May 17th, 1921. The Neographic, the Neographic's only girl reporter. New Express source for news.
Madame Marie Curie, eminent French scientist, embarks on a whistle-stop tour of the United States.
First up, New York City, where she's greeted by enthusiastic crowd of well-wishers.
The High Priestess of Science is headed for Washington to receive a gift of 1 gram of radium valued at $100,000.
Purchased for by the Marie Curie Radium Club, an association of 100,000 American women.
Who each gave $1 to support humanitarian research with radium. Madam Curie? Madam Curie? Madam?
Welcome all. I must ask you, ladies and gentlemen of the press, to please limit your questions. Madam Curie is about to embark on an exhaustive tour of the country, and she's under strict doctor's orders to rest. Although, in a typical fashion of a scientist who thinks only of her research and life's work, she has refused to rest.
Madam Curie? Madam Curie? Madam.
Radio. What will you do with the radio?
I will continue my experiments to find a better method for the treatment of the cancer.
Madam Curie?
Cure for all cancer.
Cure for the cure for the cancer. That is so. It has already cured all kinds of the cancer.
But some doctors dispute that.
Since they do not understand the message, there's no question radium will cure the cancer.
Madam Curie?
Madam Curie? Madam Curie? Madam Curie?
How do you manage to devote yourself both to science and to your children?
It has not been easy, but my daughters share my gratitude to the American women for the interest in the science and my work. I am most grateful.
Madam Curie? Madam Curie?
No more questions. Madam Curie is on a tight schedule. Mrs. Andrew Carnegie has sent a car and will escort Dr. Curie personally, as will I, to Washington, where President Harding will present the gift of 1 gram of radium.
Madam Curie?
1 gram of radium.
You see that, Charlie? That is a marketing opportunity. Let's send her one of our watches, courtesy the United States Radium Corporation.
Of course. But we'll need a press release.
Of course. Radium isn't just for scientists to study. The average American can share in its glory every night. Luminous watches, luminous clocks. Anyone who thinks these are just novelties can consider all the other advances that have taken place in the past 50 years. The electric light, the telegraph, the automobile. Inventions all once dismissed as novelties, as toys.
They're now essentials to modern life.
Yes.
That ought to sell some watches.
Watches, absolutely. But that's not where the growth is now, Charlie. You heard the lady, it's the medical market.
And Standard Chemical owns it.
Only because Von Sasaki lets them take it. But if we wanted to, we could get half their business. It's just a matter of positioning.
Standard Chemical publishes its own journal and sends it out monthly to 12,000 doctors. What if we did something similar?
Something scholarly that the doctors would...
Like a bibliography listing every article ever published on radium.
With capsule reports to save the doctors time. They'd get the information, find it fast.
And they would have us to thank for it.
We'll send it to every doctor in the U.S. Radium Society.
Every doctor in the American Medical Association.
That's the spirit, Charlie. Advertising, it's the wave of the future. It's not just the product, it's
the way you promote it.
Yes.
You shouldn't be afraid.
It's okay. It's okay. You enter in through the middle. Yep, go now.
Oh, and that smells great. That smell. What's that smell? It was like flowers. No, it was like heaven.
And for your information, I did get a job. I start at the bank on Monday.
Oh yeah, the bank? What's it pay?
Enough.
Enough. Always enough. You know, Tom, you know what that means? It means it don't pay nearly as much as it do up at that radium plant.
It's office work.
Office work? Well, I guess that means you're gonna be spending more money on clothes then.
It makes so long as I'm working somewhere.
Don't make no difference to me. I just thought you liked it up there.
Sure, I liked it. I worked there 4 years.
So, I've been delivering mail for almost 8. And I plan to keep on delivering mail for another 20 or 30 more years. Nothing like steady work and a good pension to keep you asleep at night.
Well, I don't have a pension. And I sleep just fine.
I bet you do, Grace. So how come you quit?
Lots of girls were quitting. Work was slow. Besides, since Irene left, it just hasn't been as much fun as it used to be. And wouldn't you rather have a girlfriend who works at the bank?
Not as much as I'd rather have a wife who doesn't have to work anymore.
Close your eyes. I got a surprise for you.
Really? You want me to pull the shades?
Not that kind of surprise. Close
Okay.
them. All right. Look,
Wallpaper.
for the baby's room.
Baby's room? You're not gonna kiss me and yet you're talking about babies?
There's going to be babies eventually, Tommy. Pick one.
You know, Grace, most girls, they get married before they start decorating the nursery.
Plan ahead for once. Pick one.
They're both the same.
No, they're not. This one has big flowers, and this one has little flowers. So, pick one.
Is this some sort of test?
No, it's just wallpaper.
It is some kind of test.
Pick one, Tommy.
Then, that one.
Really?
The other one, then.
Which do you like, though?
They're both nice.
This one's pretty, don't you think?
Then that one, then.
But I want you to like it too.
Grace, if you like it, then I'm gonna like it. Wallpaper is just wallpaper.
No, it's not. You gotta pick something you can stand to look at for 20 years.
Same way you pick women.
Keep it up, smarty pants, and you won't ever get that kiss.
All right, then that one.
I like it too. A nice neutral yellow can go with either a boy or a girl. And until the baby comes, we can use the room for other things.
What other things?
Like a painting studio, maybe.
A painting studio, maybe. Didn't you get enough painting at work?
Not the kind I wanted to do, Tommy. When I was in school, I used to paint watercolor. And ever since I started working, I just ain't got no time. But with watching the kids and helping Mom, when we're married, I just want a little time. Just a little time for myself so I can do watercolor. And oils, maybe. Maybe portraits in oil. I could paint a picture, if you'd like.
Sure, you can paint a big picture of me. We'll hang it in the outhouse. All our friends will want to come by so they can look at it and use the can.
The way you talk sometimes.
Oh, Grace. If you want to paint pictures, then you can paint pictures. I won't ever stop you.
Tommy, but once we're married, you'll change your tune.
Sure. I'll be whistling Dixie.
Wait till you come home one night, all worn out. One Christmas, maybe. When everyone on your routes had 3 times the mail, and maybe some dog took after you, and some old lady kept you on the stoop talking about her grandchildren, and you wouldn't have the heart to tell her you couldn't stay. I know you. So you come home late, cranky besides, wanting your dinner, and there I am with my easel set up in the kitchen, my drop cloth on the floor, my paints all over the table, and your dinner nowhere in sight. What would you say then?
Better be a picture of me you're painting.
I know what you'd say. Where's my dinner? That's what you'd say. Where's my dinner?
Well, sure, but I'd still admire the painting. I just want to do it on a full stomach is all. So, how did I do? Did I pick the right wallpaper?
I don't know. Maybe I'll go look at stripes.
Stripes, polka dots, I don't care, Grace. Let's just get married. You're plenty old enough. Tell your mom we ain't waiting anymore and we'll just run off.
Tommy, we are not running off. We're going to do it right. A nice church wedding with flowers and music, and then a week at the seashore. Just us. And then we'll get a home together. It'll be worth the wait. You'll see.
Mouth hurting you?
Yeah. The dentist said he's got to pull another tooth in the back.
Well, what's the tooth?
Hazel Cruiser, any connections to the other?
Only by virtue of employment.
He's got it.
No, she left 6 months ago. 3, 4, she worked. She also worked for the church. And what she got from, she could have taken out. That's not money. It's time. It's just I was taught. They like, if you just think you like her father had to carry her up to the studio every morning. It didn't make any difference to me how she got up the stairs. She was a very fast worker and a very sweet little girl. She was poor. Hell, she was poor.
Charlie, it gives us a purpose. And I don't see why we should stop hiring girls like that.
When they get sick and try to blame us for it, you might want to reconsider that policy.
Let's just see what Dr. Drinker has to say.
Dr. Drinker? Some professor from Harvard School of Industrial Hygiene.
He chairs the department, and he's agreed to take a look at our operations.
Don't you think we are jumping the gun just a little bit hiring him?
We've had 6 girls quit this week, and Mrs. McNeil tells me there could be more.
Girls come and go through that door all the time.
It's never been like this. These girls are terrified, and we have to do something to calm them down.
Letting Drinker examine them? That sounds to me like a recipe for mass hysteria.
We'll call it a routine physical. Edward.
Companies give physicals all the time.
Then Drinker will start next month.
In the meantime, I recommend we make an offer to Ms. Kuzer.
Settle?
There is no proof her problems are connected to us. Believe me, you won't like the publicity it brings, and neither will your investors. I think this will affect the stock, don't you?
Wonderful. We'll open at 30 and close at 10.
We're not open at all. But if we give this girl something that will keep her quiet, it would be a condition of the settlement.
Suppose that lawyer has a racket going. He finds the sick girls and talks them into making suits. Then we reward him for his larceny.
Unless Miss Kuzer genuinely believes she got sick here. I wouldn't worry about it. We could buy us some medicine. And a few $100s would make a big difference to a girl like that. Certainly. Buy us some medicine, pay for some medical bills. From the sound of that letter, she don't got long to live anyway.
So it'd be a gesture of decency then.
Exactly.
What do you think we should offer?
Some patients report significant abatement.
Oh! Is there someone to fill in for Rose? Okay. Hey, it's okay.
Great.
Yeah, we just gotta keep going.
Here's some medicine. Perfect.
Well, yesterday, this way with the cow to the baby. In the silence.
No, I didn't hear that. Well, yeah. And we're missing half our people. Like, we didn't know Benny was gone, so we had to, like, throw Cooper in. Yeah. That's true. Do you like the subtle bags under my eyes? It adds some stress to me. Yeah, it's down here that makes it. Yeah. It's dumb. Yes, I'm so excited to drink the green stuff. It's so good. I know you can't drink it because you pineapple. I feel like I look more crazy as my hair gets more poofy. And we're missing half the people in the scene because everybody's gone. What would?
No, it's under Rudolph.
Rudolph?
The girl I'm asking about, Irene Rudolph.
Did she file the complaint?
No, the dentist did.
The dentist?
Dr. Neff, Irene's dentist, said she met a Fossey jaw and was going to complain to the health department about it. When I asked him, he said he hadn't heard nothing, and it's been more than 6 months now.
Fossey jaw, you say?
Yes.
It's like the doctor said, Catherine. A blood infection.
Yeah, but what gave it to her? That's the thing. What was it from?
From dirt. You got infections from dirt.
From dirt? Her face puffed up like a pumpkin. Her jaw got it so bad she couldn't eat nothing. You think you got something like that from a little dirt? You get it with phosphorus. They're telling everybody it's radium in that thing, but really it's phosphorus that makes it glow.
Honestly, Catherine, you can't really believe
You
that.
saw her, Grace.
Captain, it was like to say they didn't ever let you work there in the first place.
Sure, they shut it down.
Shut it down? Who? Who was gonna shut it down?
I don't know. The county.
Honestly, Grace, you are such a ninny. How are they gonna shut it down if they don't know about it? Ever think of that? It's all right, Tom.
She had no business talking about it.
She's just upset.
Upset? She's gone around the bend. She probably thinks they're dumping arsenic into the drinking water. Next, they'll be there stealing babies and all this stuff to burners.
You go ahead and laugh. You won't be laughing so hard when it's you coming in here 6 months from now asking after Grace.
Catherine, it's just a toothache.
Yeah? That's how it started for Irene. Just a toothache. You wait, Grace. You wait. You'll wake up one morning. Your gum's hurting so bad you won't be able to open your mouth. So weak and sick you won't be able to stand up. The pain's so bad you won't be able to sleep, and your face so swollen.
Gracie is fine. Right, Grace?
Irene Rudolph.
That's it.
She worked at the
Radium plant.
Yes, ma'am.
Nothing.
What?
The company is in full compliance with all state health and labor regulations. They ordered an analysis of the paint.
Let me see that.
Miss, really.
Who's Miss Young?
That's the health officer, miss.
The paint is a harmless compound of radium and zinc.
As I was saying, the analysis shows there's no phosphorus in the paint. There's no phosphorus anywhere in the plant.
hair. You see, Catherine?
Miss Young toured the plant herself. She found nothing amiss. I'm sorry.
Oh, guess we could get some lunch then.
No, I'm gonna file another complaint.
They already did an investigation.
I wanna file another complaint.
Catherine, these folks, they're awful busy here.
I wanna file another complaint.
I just don't see what good this is gonna do, Catherine. To make such a fuss this way?
Great. 3 surgeries, and they wanted to cut her again. She finally said no. She knew. But was left of her job on the floor right now. You can go to the office down the street. And Grace. The worst of it is, I couldn't look at her. Irene was so afraid of being alone, and I left her alone. When she died, it was the middle of the night, and nobody was with her.
I'm sorry, I don't have anything right now. You're gonna have to go down the street to the other office.
I'm sorry. Can we fill out another form? My friend wants to file another complaint.
Another complaint? Is the girl still sick?
No. She's dead.
Wait right here.
Harriet, you sit down to that area.
I'm waiting for Papa.
When he gets here,
There he is. Papa! Papa!
Papa, I can see clear to the church.
Do you see your grandfather?
No, but I can see the schoolhouse.
You think this is funny?
She's enjoying herself.
Harriet!
All he wants. Shout to. She won't shout.
They can hear her all over the neighborhood.
Can they?
When she comes down, I want you to speak with her.
She's 9 years old, Diane.
I'm trying to raise a daughter, not a son.
Time is on your side. In another year or two, she'll lose all interest in trees and develop a fascination with boys.
That's supposed to scare me.
When that day comes, you'll be frantic because she no longer wants to climb trees.
What's this?
Something to give you vitality.
You think I need vitality?
That's what it says on the bottle.
Is it pure?
We're his supplier. Want to try it?
If it will give me vitality, how could I refuse? Your father came by to see me today.
Another hard luck case.
4 children at home, all under the age of 6.
Let me guess. Wife in the hospital with cancer.
Yes.
And the husband's been laid off from, let me see, the brickyard.
Yes.
Through no fault of his own.
How did you know?
Dad was around to see me yesterday. God, it's never enough with him to have ordinary ambitions. You have to have a mission in life.
And you do.
No, I have a business plan.
You can't tell me you wouldn't help this man if you could.
If I could, I can't give him a job that doesn't exist.
What about Dan Lehman?
Dan?
Maybe he could use some help.
In the laboratory. Dan needs trained technicians, not some bricklayer. Why don't you send him to Mrs. Middleton? Don't you women have a social club for things like this?
You mean the Women's Club Civics Committee?
Right.
Yes, the club takes an interest in such cases, but we're not an employment service either, which is why I thought you could help him.
Oh. You do love being married to the company president.
It has its advantages.
Ever think of trading it in?
Do you?
I got my shoe shined this morning, and while I watched the boy work, I thought, this is quite an enterprise. The work walks in, the work walks out. No warehouse, no health inspectors, no inventory, no stock break.
And you'll trade it all in for your own shoe shine stand.
You're a headache starter.
So you're in one of those moods again. What is it this time? It can't be the market. It went up today.
Now you're reading the financial pages.
I have to entertain myself somehow. So, what happened today? You're being very strange.
I'm not. I'm sorry.
You can tell me. You know.
Nothing to tell. Really, this will be our best year ever.
So it's the prospect of success that you find so disheartening.
I'll get my checkbook.
What for?
You're a bricklayer.
Artie! He needs a job, not charity. What is it your father says? A working man needs to work. It wears
on his soul not to work. Well, if it's a matter of his soul, it's different. Oh, all right. I'll have him talk to Dan.
Already?
But, Diane, I make no promises.
No promises.
To your health.
How are you, Strange?
Oh, you could do. Hurt with an awful doctor.
Anyone else on?
My back.
You seen your regular doctor?
Yeah, he says it's nerves.
Nerves.
About my wedding and all?
I'll tell you this much, this ain't no case of nerves.
What do you think?
Think you better schedule that surgery.
Couldn't we put it off just a little bit until after my wedding?
Miss Farr, you don't have that surgery, you won't have no wedding.
What?
Miss Farr, I want you to listen to me. Your jawbone is decaying. It's the black pus oozing out your gums. It's the bone itself.
That's impossible.
To Mr. Arthur Reader, U.S. Radium Corporation, from Seasonal Printer.
Radium?
It can't be as bad as all that.
Put off the surgery, you develop a septic condition to be fatal.
The blood changes in your employees can be explained on no other grounds.
Everything I saved, it's for my wedding.
Photographic films carried by employees show heavy fogging.
Well, I got a suggestion for you.
And we suspect high levels of gamma radiation throughout the plant.
Go to the radio plant and explain the situation.
Who do they call it?
We realize no proof can be offered at present.
Want to see what kind of shape you're in? This is impossible. They gotta feel like getting to help you out.
But in view of the material in the literature,
I don't see how they can refuse.
and the facts disclosed by our investigation,
Tell you what, I'll write 2 for you. They can pay my bills directly, just what you need.
You think they do that?
They got more obligation, you understand?
Charlie!
Tell you what, I'll get some paper. What do you right?
He has to be wrong. That's all. He has to be wrong. Charlie, he's wrong. We must overlook something.
Okay, go put this away.
One would expect. Several hundred million goes back at all times. Whether it is over, whether it is crystallizing.
Shit, oh shit, oh shit.
Then perhaps it's some kind of factory in the reference. It's peculiar to your place.
Right here.
What do we do? This will tear us to pieces. How do we answer them?
Yep, I had to write something.
What? Hey, the most important.
Damn it, Benny.
Drinker will never stand for this. Drinker works for us. Besides, this is a proprietary report, and we do with it as our own business. But the Department of Labor, Arthur, we just need time. Charlie, just a little time. They could shut us down for this.
Scientists, government men, they have no idea what it takes to run a business. But Mr. Saki thought advertising was a dirty word. He laughed at the very idea of a promotion. I cannot tell you how many times I walked into that man's office and he turned a deaf ear to everything I told him. But we showed him, Charlie. We showed him. Look at us. We are the world's largest single supplier of radium. The world's largest. You know what it took for us to get here. Do you think I'm going to stand idly by and let our good name be dragged through the mud? Trust me, Charlie.
My blood work.
Excellent.
And so?
I must say, Miss Fryer, your blood looks better than mine.
It does?
That's what happens to an old man who smokes. Now tell me, what else is troubling you?
My feet and my back mostly. I've had to wear this brace for quite a while.
So I see. And this started before you left the company or after?
After I left. Dr. Neff said it had something to do with the radium plant. This girl I used to work with, she died from it. Irene Rudolph.
Oh yes, terrible thing. Vincent's agnia.
What's that?
That's an ulcerated condition of the mouth, my dear.
From the radium?
Oh, no. An unfortunate and rare result of poor dental care. So let this be a lesson to you. Always brush your teeth.
But there was something else about it in the papers. About other girls getting sick. This other girl I used to work with. She's at the hospital right now in New York, and the doctors don't know what to do. They've never seen anything like it.
Miss Fryer, don't tell me you pay attention to the papers. Those stories are not scientific.
But
reporters are not scientific. They do not follow scientific methods. They write to sell, not to educate. The scientist is not concerned with what sells. He is concerned with the truth. He undertakes years of painstaking study to arrive at an understanding of the intricate natural processes that most people could never presume to comprehend. You would do well to listen to the science and ignore the nonsense that is printed in the newspapers, because I can tell you right now, radium has nothing to do with what's ailing you.
It doesn't?
Not in the least.
Then what is ailing me?
Poor diet, Miss Fryer. Poor diet.
But Dr. Neff said...
Dr. Neff is a dentist, not a physician. What you have is a vitamin deficiency. You must eat more fresh fruit.
Hard to do that in the winter.
And raw meat as well. That will help the anemia. Raw calf's liver particularly. Cook it if you must, but eat it twice a week, at a minimum. No. I'm a scientist, Miss Fryer, and I take a purely scientific interest in your situation. By allowing me to examine you, you are helping me to advance my own studies. I thank you. Call me anytime, day or night.
All right, Dr. Flynn. Thanks.
Happy to be of service, my dear.
Dr. Frederick Flynn, Ph.D., Physiology, Columbia University? Ph.D.? He's not even a real doctor.
I find you, Mr. Reader.
He's seen half a dozen girls used to work at the plant. Word I hear, he's working for the company.
An objective evaluation. The source of my finding has no bearing on my research.
And I let that fella examine me.
I never examined her per se. It was not a medical examination per se.
Nevertheless, you were able to give the young girl some useful advice.
I did my best.
Every girl he sees is the same thing. Nothing wrong with you.
Your blood is better than mine, he says.
How are you doing on the rest of the reports?
The animal studies I conducted reveal no adverse effects from radium. The problem, as you suspected, is one of personal hygiene only.
I can't believe somebody would do that to you. Straight out lie to you like that.
Nothing surprises me.
It's exactly like you said, Catherine. Those people will say anything. They'll do anything.
Except the right thing.
So then we'll make them, Catherine. We'll make sure someone hears about this.
I'm most particularly grateful to you and to hear that the young lady you examined is so much better.
From what I can see, Mr. Leader, she appears to be on the road to recovery.
Yo, what the fuck?
Not have to accept injustice. We can use our powers as consumers to influence the practices of those who wish to profit from our patronage. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Wiley. Thanks to the New Jersey Consumers League for another job well done. I don't think we have time for questions, but we do hope you join us next door for some light refreshments.
So, you want anything?
I'm not going.
Can I help you, miss?
Yes, ma'am. I'm here to see Miss Wiley.
You're not a member of the Women's Club.
No, ma'am.
Are you a list of the members?
No, ma'am, but Miss Wiley.
Then Miss Wiley would be happy to see you during her regular business hours.
I'm not leaving
It's all right.
until I see Miss Wiley.
It's all right. You must be Miss Fryer.
Yes, ma'am. Miss Young at the health department. She said that I should come see you. I know I should have stopped by your office, but I've been missing so much of work recently, and I couldn't miss no more.
No need to apologize. I'd been meaning to call on you myself.
Me and Catherine, we wrote to the company about our troubles, but we never heard nothing. So we went to go see a couple of lawyers, but they all said they couldn't do anything because we haven't worked at the company in so long. Something about the law won't allow it.
The statute of limitations.
Right. This one lawyer, he said that he was willing to sue anyhow. Only he wanted $1,000 up front. Everything I've saved for my wedding was spent on dentists and doctors and hospitals, and I still don't know what's wrong exactly. And Tom, that's my fella. He says he don't care. He wants to get married anyhow. Only I don't know what good I'd do to him, Miss Wiley, like this. If I could just get my compensation, then maybe I could settle my debts, and I wouldn't feel like I was saddling Tom with such a burden. I'm sorry to keep rattling on at you about these things, but I'm just so tired of being pushed around.
I don't blame you.
Miss Young at the health department, she said that the Consumers League had, what did she say? Clout?
I'd like to think so. We've certainly had our share of successes.
Can you help us then?
Tell me, Miss Fryer, just how far are you willing to go with this?
Ma'am?
Suppose I do find a lawyer to take your case, someone to take on a contingency. Would you be willing to sue?
I want my compensation.
Of course you do. Now, suppose the company says, here, Miss Fryer, here's some money for you, only you're to say nothing about what we've agreed to. You're to say nothing about how you got sick.
Keep it quiet, you mean?
Yes.
That don't seem right.
It isn't right, but that is what they will do. They will try to buy your silence. Is it for sale, Miss Fryer?
No. No, it isn't.
Good.
So can you help us?
I think I can help you if you'd be willing to take some chances.
Chances?
Miss Fryer, if you'd be willing to set aside your own need just for the moment, we can put a stop to that company. We can stop them dead in their tracks.
What do I have to do?
We start by putting you on page 1.
Page 1? You want us to talk to the newspapers?
Not just one newspaper, many newspapers.
Are you sure we really want this? All we want is for Grace to get a compensation.
Tommy, let it finish.
I understand your concerns, but this company has already shown it's willing to go to the extremes to protect itself. I'm afraid the only way we'll get to them is to hit them where it matters most. Their public image, when every story in America is telling your story. How you were sorely treated, how you got sick, how the company denied all responsibility. Believe me, Miss Fryer, when that happens, Arthur Reeder will come to the table with his hat in his hands.
All right, Miss Wiley.
I know it is a little bit frightening.
That's okay. I'm more angry than I am scared right now.
Good. You hold on to that anger. You're going to need it. Only be sure no one else sees it.
Ma'am?
Public sympathy, Miss Fryer. That is our strongest weapon. And the public doesn't have much sympathy for an angry woman.
December 4th, 1927.
Jack Youngwood reporting for the New York Ledger.
Dance June Holland for the New York Graphic.
On the strange case of the Radium girls.
Who claimed they were poisoned at the hands of their employers.
And now seek their day in court.
$250,000.
That's the price tag on their suffering.
$250,000.
Ask me, it's all sham.
What do you mean? Those girls are very sick.
Sick of working, sure.
Doctors say the Radium girls have only a year to live.
Only a year to live and 250 grand to spend. What would you do with that kind of money?
What would you do to ease your last suffering days? What would you do for $250,000?
I'd buy a wardrobe like Irene Castle's.
I'd give it all to charity.
Then I'd travel around the world first class with all of my friends. I'd play the stock market.
Then I'd buy myself a fur coat and a diamond ring the size of New Hampshire.
I'd use it to pay off my medical bills. And then pay off the second mortgage on the house. The one my father took out to pay for my last operation.
Pretty Grace Fryer sits at home,
suffering bravely through the entire ordeal.
Struggling valiantly to keep up her flagging spirits.
For the sake of her family and her friends.
It hurts to smile. But I try to smile. I know if I don't smile, I'll go crazy.
Tell us, Miss Fryer, how does it feel knowing you have so little time left?
I try not to think about it.
But it must get to you sometimes.
Knowing what you've been through,
and the company's getting fat off your labor,
and all they have to say about it is no comment.
Don't you just want to punch somebody?
Oh no, that wouldn't do no good. I'd rather just think about how it's gonna be when justice prevails. And maybe I'll do something nice for the folks. They never did have no honeymoon.
What a fine example of womanhood. Oh, we can only aspire to bear our cross as nobly as this young girl.
Miss Berry, I must object to this kind of stronics.
I had nothing to do with that, Mr. Markley.
I've been in this thing a very long time. When I see a case like this move over the wires, I'm not so naive as to believe plaintiff's attorney's got nothing to do with it.
What's your proposal, Mr. Markley?
$1,500 to each girl.
$1,500? That's not even a year's wages.
We think it's very generous, thinking your case won't even survive the statute of limitations.
This is a case in equity, sir. The Chancery Court will come to a different conclusion.
The Chancery Court can't rewrite the law, and the law is clear. 2 years from the date of injury. Your girls are out of time.
2 years from the date the cause of injury is discovered.
Very creative, Miss Berry. Very clever. I have to admire your imagination, but you're a long way to go before you convince the judge.
And in the meantime, Mr. Markley, the press will continue to take a great interest in the story and the company's complete indifference to its workers.
No doubt that'll be good use for the Consumers League, and you accuse us of exploiting these girls.
You're the one hiding behind the statute of limitations.
Hiding, Miss Wiley?
You know very well the law never anticipated a situation like this to happen. Girls were dying years before anyone knew the cause.
Before anyone knew? Does that include the U.S. Radium Corporation? When, or should I say if, this case goes to court? I only hope that's the opening statement. You'll have made our case. I'll see you at the hearing.
The arrogance of that man reminds me of that.
Sorry, what? I'm going to ask.
In the Boston Globe, and I am so sorry.
For your plight. It seems that in the time of rapid advancement, the well-being of the average worker is overlooked. I would like to share with you girls the key to my own good health at the age of 92. It is called Christian Science.
Dear Miss Pryor, I read your woeful situation in the Atlanta Constitution, and I am prepared to offer you a solution. Venacine, a wonderful tonic made from all natural ingredients. Venacine will restore your health and vitality. We are prepared to offer your girls a lifetime supply of Venacine in exchange for exclusive rights to your pictures and our advertisements.
Dear girl, I read about you in the Billings Gazette. I run but 100 head of cattle up here, and I do very well by myself. But I've always longed for a companion, and I'm very well equipped to offer you a comfortable home in your final hours. A girl like you has suffered so much. Don't you think you deserve a few fleeting hours of happiness? Sincerely, your admirer, Leonard F. Watkins. P.S. Encloses my picture.
This, Catherine. This man actually sent in his picture. You all right, Catherine?
I'm bleeding again.
Shall I get the nurse? Maybe we should go.
No, please don't go.
Don't you need sleep?
Who can sleep? I never sleep.
You'll sleep tomorrow.
Yeah. Might not wake up.
Of course you'll wake up.
Not if it don't go well. Sometimes you don't come out of it so good. My mother's cousin, she went into the hospital for her appendix, and she didn't come home again.
Well, you just can't think that way, Catherine. That's all. Miss Wiley said folks from all over would be on our side. And boy, was she right. Here's one from California.
What if we don't win?
Of course we'll win.
But what if we don't? My father will lose the house. Who will be on the street? You'll be on the street too. Your father must owe thousands. And you and Tom. You won't never get married. How can you stand it,
Catherine,
Grace?
please.
How can Tom stand it? Don't you ever wonder, Grace? I don't never hear him complain.
Catherine, once the judge hears our testimony, he's gonna rule for us. It'll be over in a day.
You think so?
Sure. Once they see what kind of a shape we're in, it'd be awful hard to ignore. Don't you think?
That'll be something then, won't it? See the look on Mr. Rita's face when we get on the stand.
Now, you want to read some more lettuce?
We didn't have no vanilla. I got some chocolate.
Took you long enough.
Don't get on me. I had 6 people stop me on the way over here. All of them was asking us for you.
Waiting for me to die.
No one's waiting for you to die.
It's true. One of them called my mother asking if I'd died yet. When she said no, sounded disappointed.
Here, eat some of this. It'll make you feel better.
Evening, girls. How about a picture?
For the love of Mike, what are you doing in here?
We need some pictures for the graphics exclusive on the girls.
Exclusive? What are you talking about?
$5,000, that's what. What do you say, Grace? That sound good to you? Think you could use $5,000?
I don't understand.
Perhaps you're familiar with Bernard McFadden?
Who, that faith healer?
Herbalist, Mr. Kreider, herbalist. Bernard McFadden's patented herbal therapy is just the thing to get these girls back on their feet, and the graphic will pay for it. All we ask is for the exclusive rights to the girls' stories from here on out. See for yourself.
You want to pay us to go see Bernard McFadden?
Easy money, huh?
Let me see.
Grace, this is serious.
The graphic always does business on the up and up.
No,
Grace, what is your fogging up to Robert in the house again?
I don't know exactly.
In that last hospital bill, that's gotta be a couple hundred at least.
At least.
Maybe we should do it.
And all we do is talk to this herbalist fellow.
Of course, we'll have to get our money's worth. A regular series of features with pictures following the course of the treatment, your illness, your recovery, or otherwise, depending on how it goes.
And then you print whatever you want.
Maybe we'll add some color. Everybody adds color.
That's not too bad.
Maybe we should talk to Miss Wiley about it.
Miss Wiley? What's it to her? You're the one with bills to pay.
It just don't seem right without talking to Miss Wiley about it.
You're a big girl, Grace. Can't you make your own decisions?
Of course I can make my own decisions.
You'd take it if it came from the company.
The company owes me more than that.
That's if you see it, Grace.
Maybe we should do it.
Just don't feel right.
We're gonna talk to the newspapers anyway, Grace. We might as well get something out of it.
He's right, you know. Why give your story away when people are crazy to read it? Well, you girls could cash in big, believe me. The day we ran the feature on you, bang, sold out every copy in every newsstand. Everybody can sympathize with the plight of some poor sick girl facing certain death with no hope of fulfillment in motherhood.
I'd like you to leave now. My friend is very tired. She needs her rest.
Grace, at least think about it.
Sure, think it over. I understand. You're worried what people will say. But hey, you gotta think about your own interests here. There's no reason you shouldn't get something out of all of this. Look out for number one. That's the way. Everyone else is out to get what they can, for sure. Why should you sit back and keep your nose clean when everyone else is up to their elbows in it?
Yeah. I accused a number of girls who claim they got sick here.
Sorry.
I said no. Your proposal is immoral and will have nothing to do with it.
Immoral, you said? You're a fine one to be talking about morals.
Mr. Lee.
When you got your own paid lackeys...
Those are expert witnesses.
Expert witnesses. Paid lackeys is more like it. And none of them got the dirt I got. Believe me, there's plenty of folks interested in this information.
You're threatening.
Just a business proposition, Mr. Eater. Looking out for my interests. Same way you guys look out for yours.
Mr. Lee, see Dr. Neff to the door.
All right. You want to play ball, that's fine. But believe me, when all this shakes out, it will be me holding the short end of the stick.
Gentlemen, I want you all to write a statement on what happened this morning. Then we'll send it to the State Dental Society. Dr. Neff will let things play ball.
and who isn't?
An excellent idea. I don't know. Perhaps.
Did they not have a bus?
No, the days before, he said 3:40. On the day of, it was like 4:20. We will be in and on those days.
Is it hot?
Yeah. I mean, very much.
You've only seen part of it, Miss Barry. Please. This is the complete report. I received it this morning. Mrs. Drinker has been following our study very closely in the papers and was particularly disturbed to read the last article in the Ledger where Mr. Lee says her study clears the report.
He doctored the report. Reader doctored the report.
Apparently, he pulled out one page listing the blood conditions of a dozen employees and passed it off as a whole thing. Doesn't look so bad by itself, does it? But in context, it's somewhat a different picture.
We can use this.
Yes, it should impress the judge.
The judge? Miss Wiley, I am not going to wait 3 months to make use of this. I want you to call the contact you have at the New York Ledger. If Markley won't testify in court, then he can read about it in the newspaper.
January 12th, G28.
I said Markley, though. It's like I did earlier. That's okay. That was a slide. That was a slide. What? I felt so good. Like, I don't.
His attorney, Ms. Barry, makes a shocking disclosure.
Showing that the company lied to the Department of Labor.
Showing it distorted the result of a Harvard study.
Concealing the ill effects of its products.
Read all about it in the Ledger.
Read about it in the graphic. We care because you care.
Very right.
You
didn't read it.
I make a point not to. You did.
If only other people would do the same. Mrs. Mitchell, from across the street. She walked right past me this morning, didn't say a word to me. I know, she saw me. And the women at the market, and the greengrocer. The way they glance at each other. And at the club, Mrs. Middleton and the other ladies. The whispers.
Why don't you put that away?
At the club today, someone actually had the nerve to say to me, "Is it true? Is it true?" She said, "Did your husband poison those women?" I said, "Mrs. Cowles, if you think it is true, then why would you speak to me at all? I certainly would not associate with a woman whose husband did such things."
Why do you go there then, if that's the way people are?
I've been a member for years.
For God's sakes, Diane, what do you want me to say? That I knew we were poisoning people, but we're making too much money, so we didn't want to stop. Is that what you want me to say?
I certainly don't want you to say such...
Or especially if it were true.
Is it true?
Is that what you think?
What would you like me to think?
For God's sakes, Diane, don't you see what's going on here? It's Von Sashaki. He's jealous and he's behind all of this. He's been feeding information to the Consumers League so they can railroad us.
Why would the Consumers League...
Bunch of women do-gooders, half of them red, probably socialists. That's what they are. Same thing with that club you belong to.
What?
All you women think you can go around and fix the world's problems.
I can't, I'm sorry!
Go on and make a living. You're going to quit that club.
Quit the club!
Stop talking to that idiot, Mrs. Middleton.
You're not making any sense!
You don't know anything.
Did you lie to the Department of Labor?
What?
Did you lie?
I didn't lie. I just didn't agree with drinkers who so.
Arthur.
I have a fiduciary duty to the company.
I can't listen to this!
Diane, I have documents. I have articles. People with the tumors the size of baseballs. Radium therapy and they disappear, Diane.
I'm tired. I'm going upstairs.
We save lives, Diane. We make lives better. Mild radium therapy invigorates. Do you actually believe that I'm a liar? Do you actually believe that I'd poison people?
No.
Do you think I'd do anything to hurt you or to hurt Harriet?
Certainly not.
Then
13 girls have died.
People die every day. The newspapers are full of death notices. Old, young, children younger than Harriet die every day.
But they worked for you.
They also worked for other places. I have a report from an expert in industrial hygiene, like Drinker, who states there's no connection between these plants and these illnesses. Do you want to see the report?
Then what? What could the cause be?
I don't know, Diane. I really don't know. I have done everything I can to find out. No one knows. Do you believe me, Diane? Because if you don't, there's no point to anything.
Artie.
Do you remember the day that I told my father I wasn't going into the ministry, what you said to me that day?
You can do as much good in a boardroom as you can in a church.
You remember?
You think I would forget?
God, I was such a scared kid, and he was an icon. If it weren't for you, I don't think I could have stood up to him.
Oh, I'm sure you would have, Artie. I know you would have.
And ever since then, he's been looking for signs that my soul is lost. You don't think that? Do you that my soul is lost?
You're a good man, Artie.
You save lives, Diane.
You save lives.
It's all for you. You know? Everything. It always has been.
I know.
Arthur!
Is that Mr. Lee?
Arthur!
Charlie, for God's sakes!
I just got off the telephone with somebody from the Ledger.
This couldn't wait until the morning,
I'm
Charlie.
so sorry. Good evening.
Mr. Lee?
It's Dr. Lehman.
Dan?
He's dead, Arthur. He died this morning.
Charlie, that's impossible. I just saw him last week.
He was just here a month ago for course. They were just here.
Martland has already done the autopsy. They're saying it was severe anemia.
He's playing the number?
The Ledger is going to run it. Page 1. But I told them we would issue a statement at 8 o'clock tonight.
When
that
are
is
the
when they need
services?
it, so it can... I'm sorry?
The services, when are they?
I don't know.
We'll send flowers, Diane.
Of course. I'll call Louise.
Yes, that's right. Call Louise.
No.
I should...
I would not do that if I were you.
Why ever not?
She's planning to sue.
Louise?
The reporter from the Ledger told me this morning. She's filing a wrongful death action. But I've worked up a statement for the paper. Layman, doctor, company chemist of 8 years, always in poor health.
But
recently
Dan was never sickly. He was always on the golf course. Or sailing. Or their garden, Artie. He kept a beautiful garden.
Let's take care of this in the morning, Charlie.
Oh. Of course. Well, I am so sorry to bring you the bad news, Mrs. Reader. Have a good night.
Good night, Mr. Lee.
Charlie can be a bit excessive at times. We have to say something. I don't know what we'll say, but we have to say something. The shareholders will expect it.
You needn't explain.
Sometimes it's necessary.
It's all right. You needn't explain. We're going to throw this away now.
There's half a case underneath the sink.
And we'll get rid of it too. There'll be no more of it in the house.
I'll do it. Diane? I'm in too far to quit.
I really didn't expect you to.
February 21st, 1928. To Mrs. Raymond Berry, from Harrison Martland, Chief Medical Examiner, Essex County. We have examined the remains of the deceased Amalia Maggia. Our study reveals the following. Large quantities of radioactive substances have been found in the lower jaw, the upper jaw, and the lumbar vertebrae. No evidence of syphilis was found.
Body is radioactive. Bones of dead girl, kick off gamma rays.
Captain Wiley, Consumer League declares new evidence shows company lies.
Dr. Joseph Ness, a Newark dentist who treated Amalia, has turned over portions of the jawbone that was removed from her mouth. This x-ray shows so that the jawbone is still radioactive 5 years after the girl died.
Will this make your case?
Will this force a settlement?
Make our case? No. This gentleman will make our case.
Last night, in the graphic exclusive, the founder of the Radium Corporation broke his long silence with this shocking announcement.
Radium is one of the most deadly substances known to man.
Dr. von Sashaki, is it true you assisted with the autopsy?
No. And due to my expertise in radium extraction, I was able to determine that this module absorbed enough radium to kill 10 people.
Doctor, what does this say for mild radium therapy? Are you now advising against it?
Radium is responsible for the deaths of these 4 girls. It should be considered the most deadly substance.
Do you agree with the doctor's prognosis that the radium girls only have a year to live?
From what I've seen, they'd be lucky to last that long.
I'll tell you what we should have done. We should have taken that report over when we had the chance. That's what we should have done.
$5,000. Don't make me laugh.
You know what else we should have done? We should have talked her up too. I'll tell you, those newspapers, they'd have paid. And you know what else we should have done?
Stop telling me what we should have done. Lots of things we should have done.
All right.
No point talking about them now.
All right, keep your shirt on.
Which do you like more? The red or the blue?
What's Barry say? Is he gonna try and go back to the company?
I like the red more. But it don't fit so good these days.
Is he gonna try and talk the company up a little bit?
Miss Wiley says another interview will do the job. So I say, what's one more?
It's worth a try. What if they offered you $5,000? Would you take it then?
Honey, come on. I'm not caving in.
It's called a settlement.
Settlement. It's just a way for them to hide.
Well, then let them hide.
Then they win.
So? They're gonna win anyways, Grace.
Glad to see you have so much faith in me.
Grace, you have one lawyer working for nothing, up against 6 lawyers who are working for the bundle. And you think you're gonna win?
You know what I found out today? They put lead screens in the laboratories for the technicians.
Oh, Jesus.
They give us lead screens. What do you think? 100 girls in a room and they're gonna spend that kind of money on us?
Grace, they were gonna do it eventually.
They want to keep it all quiet. And Miss Wiley says they're gonna close down here and move
Grace.
across the river to New York.
Grace, what are you doing?
The factory like nothing
Grace,
happened.
Grace, what are we doing here? I thought the plan was we'd get some money, settle your debts, get a better doctor, and move on with things.
Move on with it.
You're still wearing my ring.
Oh, Tommy.
Grace, there's a house for sale in my brother's neighborhood. 2 floors up and 2 floors down. I think you'd like it. It's already got flowered wallpaper. And I think the best part is it's only a block away from the school.
The school? What do we need with the school?
Plan ahead for once, Grace.
Oh. What do you think's gonna happen? After all this is over, do you really think it's gonna go back to the way it was?
Why wouldn't it?
Gotta see the surgeon again.
Uh-huh.
I've got some fluid. He's gonna drain it.
Okay.
And then he says there'll be more.
So then we'll deal with it when it
And
comes.
still more. And more and still more. Why can't you see that? How can you sit here talking about getting married and buying houses?
Grace, I can't think of that right now. I just want us to be together. I want to come home at night. To you. To my wife. My home. Grace, I'm too old to be living like this. This in-between life. Grace, I promise. I promise I will do whatever I can to make it easy on you, okay? I promise.
Here.
Grace, what are you doing?
I should have gave it to you a long time
I don't
ago.
want it.
Tommy, are you gonna make me say
You just need some rest, okay?
Tommy.
You get some sleep.
do this to me?
Thank you.
Ah, Charlie.
Aren't you headed home?
You know, I've been thinking it over, Charlie. And I think we're taking the wrong approach here. We need to settle this case. These girls need something that we can offer.
No, Arthur. No, we agreed. We need a definitive victory. Otherwise, we are inviting more of the same nonsense.
Things have changed.
Arthur, I know you damn were close. We cannot let that cloud your judgment.
Von Sashaki is going to testify.
We can deal with him.
How?
Put more money in.
Now you want to bribe him?
Not a bribe, it's consideration.
Consideration.
Or expert witness. Whatever Barry paying him, we can offer him more.
You don't understand guilt, do you, Charlie?
Right now, I don't have the luxury of thinking about it.
Let me tell you something, Charlie. A guilty man has this tremendous need to unburden himself. The guilt can eat him alive. Don't you see what's going on? Von Sashaki wants to be free. That is why he is testifying for the girls. And that is why he'll never testify for us, no matter how much consideration you offer.
Settle with these girls, and you have to settle with all the rest. Neff was right about that. This is just the beginning.
Tell Markley to call Barry. Get a conversation going. See if they can come up with a reasonable offer these girls.
Arthur, for God's sake, what are you trying to do to me?
We need to clean things off the table.
What are you trying to do to me? Every penny I have put by in the last 7 years, I have sunk into this goddamn company. Why? Because of you. Because you said it was a sure thing. There's no miss. Why work for Von Sashaki when we can work for ourselves? Take a chance, Charlie.
For God's sakes, we were fooled. Von Sashaki fooled us all. The only thing left to do is clean up the mess that was left behind.
If you do this, it will be the end, Arthur.
You're stepping down, Charlie.
Not.
Well.
Don't move. They are one vote away from getting rid of you.
And whose vote is that, Charlie?
Have you such little faith in me, Arthur?
I'm still a shareholder. You don't have enough votes to get me off the board. I'll still be on the board.
On the hook if this company goes under. You think about that the next time your conscience starts to bother you.
March 15, 1928. To Miss Berry, attorney at law, Edward Markey, counsel, U.S. Radium. One of our expert witnesses has encountered a serious scheduling conflict that makes it impossible for him to
testify in April. We are therefore requesting an extension until June. As for the basis of settling your other case, every case has a humanitarian aspect, and that cannot be the basis for settling this one. I have no doubt that you'll be rewarded for your hard work, if not in this life, then in the next.
Light one candle, watch for Messiah. Let the light banish dark. He shall bring salvation to Israel.
interested. Why can't he? Do something with your hair, Craig. $250,000. What would you do with $250,000, Miss Fryer? Why, I can't imagine. No point to it. You didn't tell me we had mail. New Mexico? They just keep writing. She was here. No, she was here. Miss Wiley was here. She came by this morning. She left me a note.
Miss Fry, Edward Mockley.
Ma said you brought the paper.
Yes, the terms as I spelled out to you in our letter. $1,500 to you. And I've got the check right there, and all I need is your signature. It's in triplicate.
Now, Grace, Mr. Mockley's a very busy man.
Oh, no, please, take your time. If you want to, I can leave the papers here and come back later.
No, we'll do this now. What? Hold on.
You agree to hold the company harmless against any further actions.
No more lawsuits.
Correct.
And is this just for me? Or anyone in my family?
Your entire family. It also precedes a wrongful death action also.
This is a confidential settlement.
Yes.
You never said anything about it being confidential.
We like to protect our privacy and your privacy also. You agree to keep quiet about the terms of the negotiation, and so do we.
That seems fair.
Need a pen?
I have another question. Grace, Mr. Mockley already explained the terms of the settlement. Mom.
I don't mind.
What is contributory negligence, Mr. Mockley? It wasn't in this one, but it was in them other papers that you filed. When we did the lawsuit, the Radium company said its defense was the statute of limitations and contributory negligence.
I don't know what you're asking, Miss Fryer.
It means it's our fault, don't it?
It's a standard defense. I wouldn't take it personally.
How else am I supposed to take it?
Mr. Mockley, Grace has had an awful headache all day. I'm sure that you can leave these papers. Maybe she'll just sign them later.
Maybe he should just answer the question.
Why are you doing this?
Why didn't you tell me Miss Wiley came by?
Mr. Mockley, here, let me see. I'll take these papers.
Ma, why didn't you tell me Miss Wiley came by?
Because you already made up your mind. She'd only try to talk you out of it.
What did she say about Catherine?
Mr. Mockley, let's just leave the papers. Grace can sign them later.
Ma, what did she say about Catherine?
She said it don't look too good.
Maybe I should come back later when Miss Fry is feeling better.
You didn't answer my question, Mr. Mockley. And I'd really like an answer. Because let me tell you, I quit school at 15. I went to work at the Radium plant because my folks needed the money. At your factory, they told us what to do, when to do, how to do it. My folks didn't raise me to make trouble, so I didn't make trouble. I did what I was told. I never asked questions. How do you get contributory negligence out of that?
As I said, it's a standard defense.
There's nothing standard about what happened to me.
There is no way to tie your condition to the U.S. Radium Corporation.
And why are you giving me this money?
It's a humanitarian gesture.
Humanitarian gesture?
Yeah, Mr. Mockley, I can take them papers.
Humanitarian gesture? Month after month you put us off. Delay after delay knowing how sick we were. How tired and desperate. Humanitarian gesture. You're just waiting for us to die.
Grace, stop this. Now.
Ma, one by one, I have watched my friends get sick and die in the most horrible way. And you expect me to be grateful for any spare change they throw at me?
Miss Fry, this is a very generous offer, and I advise you to take it, as it won't be on the table very long.
What do you mean?
If Miss Fry does not take this offer in 24 hours, we'll be forced to withdraw our offer permanently.
Grace?
He's lying.
I beg your pardon, miss.
You're trying to tell me if I don't sign these papers now, But I come back a week from now saying I changed my mind. You'd still rather go to court. You'd still rather some judge get a good look at me and hope I don't win up sympathy alone. 24 hours. You're just trying to bully me.
I'll take that as a no, and I will be seeing you in court.
Yes, you will. You will see me. If they have to carry me in there, you'll see me. You and Mr. Reader, both.
You called that man back.
I'm going to court, Mom.
What are you trying to prove? You know you can't win.
I want those people to look at me. I want them to look at me and explain how it's my fault I got sick working in their factory.
And what'll that get you? What?
Ma,
all my life I have done what others told me to do. I quit school because you said I should. I put that brush in my mouth because Mrs. McNeil told me I should. I never said, please, can't I just finish school? I never said, I don't like the taste of this paint. I never argued, even though I knew, Ma, I knew something wasn't right. At night, I'd lie in bed and I'd see my dress hanging on the back of my closet door, all aglow. My shoes on the floor, my comb and hairbrush on the dresser. So much light, Ma. So much light. And I never once questioned. I never once asked. Don't you see? They knew I wouldn't. That's what they were counting on. Ready? I forgot to take off my damn ring. Is it smeared? But like, is the bruise fine? Okay. Did that sound good? Did that sound good, the last scene? On like the mics? Okay, good.
What's the matter with your hair? Stand up and do something. Dr. Martin told me some posts as a Christian. And Miss Wiley, she came to me. Wanted to be consistent, testing the girls for reading. Education. Going to have to put in courses. If you've done that again, in your own breath, we should bring you back to my hands. Again, now, can you feel anything? So, perhaps you should make yourself an appointment with Dr. Martin. What? You don't know the Lord also was the truth of the homework? Practice all over the house. You can be sure that good healing is not in the lungs. You familiar?
Bro, I don't even remember going through school today. I was like, what happened? And I was like, I woke up and I came here. No, I went through school. I completely forgot about it. 12 hours ago. Like what? No. Could not tell you. Like why are we still at school? I haven't eaten dinner. That's funny. Wow, I guess I really was pulled into the world today. Scary. This feels like what our tech day should have been. Yeah.
How can you say that you did not sign?
Sure. And then tomorrow's gonna be fun. I'm a little nervous though. Not gonna lie. Go ahead.
I just glanced at the galleys. I never read the book.
How do you mean you never read the book?
We hired an outside company to put the piece together. It was a standard arrangement. They were responsible for the content.
Which you never read.
I'll have you know, Miss Mary, that very few company presidents read their promotional pieces word for word.
Has your name on it, you authorized the book's content and you have final approval of it.
Mr. Lee was responsible for the promotional efforts at the time. I entrusted those activities to him at the time.
Now, Mr. Reader, you testified that you started at the U.S. Radium Corporation in 1980.
Yes, it's September.
And you kept that position for how long?
4 years.
During those 4 years, how often did you venture into the studio?
Every day.
Every day. So, you must have seen those girls pointing the brushes to their lips.
I don't recall.
You mean to tell me you went into the studio every single day and you never saw a single girl point a brush to her lips?
I said I don't recall.
You don't recall. What do you recall, Mr. Reader? You're an awfully young man to have such a faulty memory.
Objection, Your Honor.
I withdraw. No more questions.
All right, then, your witness, Mr. Markley.
We have no further questions for the witness, Your Honor.
All right, lawyers, please approach. I am ready to issue my ruling.
Your Honor, we have yet to present our defense.
I understand that, Mr. Markley. However, this proceeding is to determine standing. Now, these 2 days, I have seen enough. The radium within the bones of these girls is an ongoing source of poison within their systems. Nothing your witness can say will change that fact, will it?
Your Honor, our witness is prepared to testify that they could not know about the danger.
Mr. Markley, in the interest of justice, I ask the defense rest without calling any witnesses. We can conclude this proceeding and schedule the case for trial.
All right, Your Honor.
Fine. I hereby rule that the statute of limitations has not been exhausted and these girls have standing to sue.
Your Honor, one thing. I'm very busy with 2 cases pending, and one of our expert witnesses cannot be available until the end of summer.
We cannot be available until September.
Your Honor.
Your Honor, our chief expert witness is in an institution of higher learning. This is the busiest time of the year for him. We cannot expect him to appear.
Mr. Markley is responsible for this. He is the one who called for continuous delays.
Your Honor, we just waived the right to present witnesses at this trial. Surely you'll not make us present a defense without the presence of our key witness.
All right, Mr. Markley. Trial set for September. This hearing is adjourned.
Edward, why can't Flynn appear?
He's going to Europe.
Europe? But he's known about this for months. Why would he go to... Oh. Very clever, Edward. And how long do you plan on keeping this going?
As long as necessary.
Mr. Markley?
Miss Berry, I never expected the court to go for it.
You know full well these girls cannot wait until September. One is so ill she can't make it into the courtroom.
My client has a right to make their defense.
We will not wait until September. One way or another, we will find our way onto the docket, and your expert witness be damned.
Edward, that girl is so staring at me.
I wouldn't worry about it.
She thinks it's personal, that I somehow planned this. How do I make her understand that I didn't want any of this to happen?
You don't make her understand. You don't talk to her.
But she looks like death, Edward.
They all look like death, Arthur.
You won't ever look at me. Like you just look right past me. Like I'm not even there. Doesn't matter, Grace.
June 4th, 1928. Nancy Jane Holland here for the New York Graphic.
Jack Youngwood for the Ledger.
McBarry seeks trial date for early summer.
As U.S. Radium Corporation announced the settlement.
A settlement?
$10,000 cash for each girl, $12 a week for life.
$12 a week?
Read all about it in the Ledger. Your first source for news.
The company agreed to pay the medical expenses of each girl for the remainder of her life. The girls also agreed to be examined by a panel of physicians yet to be appointed. Are there any questions?
Well, let's just settle it.
It's your mission and responsibility.
What about the other things?
It is purely for humanitarian reasons that the United States Radium Corporation agreed to the settlement. It is not an addition of liability whatsoever.
Where does that company go from here?
Well, the U.S. Radium Corporation is pleased to have brought this lengthy litigation to a close, but we look forward to many more years of serving our customers and our community. And that is CBD. Good.
Catherine Wiley of the New Jersey Consumers League, our press statesman.
You please look out for Miss Wiley.
Finally, these poor girls will see some compensation for their suffering. But more importantly, the issue of radium has been brought to public awareness.
Thanks, Miss Wiley.
The spelling, by the way, is Wiley with one L and Catherine with a K.
Well, Edward, it looks like we're back in business. What's the game plan? Didn't I tell you? I've got a buyer for the tailings that have been piling up behind all this. Oh? Some contractor in Montclair needs a little infill. That's perfect.
Where's my dinner? What the fuck is my dinner? Where's my dinner? Where's my dinner? Where's my dinner? I'm hungry. Where's my dinner? Where's my dinner? Where's my dinner? Where's my dinner? My name's Miss Wiley.
Well, if you were to pick a place to rest in peace, this sure is the place to do it. What do you call that?
Water. I'm a little weak at legs.
No, Grace. It's nice.
The first thing I bought with the settlement home was new paint. Familiar, too.
What a big spender.
And then I bought a car.
Grace, I didn't know you could drive.
I can't. My brother's going to teach me.
Grace.
He loves driving safe.
Grace, if you want to learn to drive, I'll teach you any time.
You got other things to do.
You know about that?
Or it's just isn't happening.
I meant to tell you myself. That's why I came over here.
It's all right. I'm happy for the both of you.
So no hard feelings then?
I think I have time to do that.
I'm glad it worked out for you. Are you glad? You don't feel like you backed off too soon, do you?
We didn't back down. They backed down.
Papa?
for a sculptor. That's why.
This is morbid, Papa.
She stood there for a long time. She didn't notice me at first, but then something made her look up.
No wonder Mama won't go for drives with you anymore if this is how you spend your Sundays.
Saw her looking at me. I looked away.
Just like the day in courtroom. He still can't bring himself to look at you.
You need to find a new hobby. Retirement isn't good for you.
My heart started pounding. Harriet. I never knew what I would say to her if I had the chance. Suddenly there she was. I had the chance.
So what did you say?
I couldn't bring myself to speak.
Life is afraid to look at you.
I had a chance. And I couldn't speak.
He's afraid of me.
Papa, that was years ago. Why don't you just forget about it? It's not like it was your fault. Nobody knew things like that. Then, science just wasn't as sophisticated, the way it is now.
I think back on those days, and I try to remember. How could it have happened? I remember so clearly climbing the stairs to the studio on Alden Street. And at the top of the stairs, those wide, high windows, and the slant of light, the way it hit the floor, the way the floor creaked underneath my feet, and the smell of the place. Chalky, like an old schoolroom. And all those girls, schoolgirls, really, all bent to the task in their plain green smocks, their delicate little hands moving so quickly. No man could have worked the way those girls did, so careful, so fast. And those brushes flying from the dials to the paint to the dials to their lips. Try as I might, Harriet. Try as I might. I cannot remember their faces. I never saw their faces